You never really know what home means until someone tries to erase it. My name's Mike Carver, and the Heritage Point HOA made one mistake they'll never forget. They built 28 condos on the one piece of land I swore I'd protect until the end. I came home from the hospital after 3 weeks of fighting for my life. The doctor said I was lucky, but when I pulled off the main road toward my 5 acres of peace, I realized luck had run out. Where my oak tree once stood, where I buried my wife's ashes, there was a concrete slab labeled Building C. Fresh paint on a sign read, Private Property of Heritage Point HOA, Phase 4 Development. My fence was gone. My memories? Paved over. A security guard told me I was trespassing on my own land, and the HOA president, Barbara Kelso, perfect hair, perfect smile, venom behind every word, stared me down and said, "It's too late to do anything about it." She thought she was talking to some tired old man. She didn't realize she'd just declared war on a demolition expert. That land wasn't just dirt. It was the last gift from my father. 5 acres we cleared by hand in 1983 with a beat-up Ford tractor and one stubborn dream. He said, "Leave that big oak. Every home needs a landmark." When he passed, that tree became my compass. When I lost my wife, Sarah, it became her resting place. I promised to build a cabin there one day, a quiet place for my daughter Emily and the grandkids. Now, all of that was buried under concrete and greed. From my hospital bed, Barbara saw opportunity. She took an old, unfiled boundary sketch from 1997, one that my father and a neighbor had settled with a handshake, and claimed my land was HOA common area. The county, buried in paperwork, stamped it through. 3 weeks later, they were raising condos where my wife rested. I confronted Barbara. She staged a community meeting to humiliate me. Progress, she called it. A buyout, she offered. I called it what it was. A bribe. The crowd saw me as the angry old man refusing change. What they didn't see was the demolition permit I filed under the name Ironclad Demo and Recovery. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I built the trap. First, I blocked their cement trucks by sealing off my private access road, legally mine since 1968. Then I brought in Lena Brooks, the sharpest surveyor I knew. 2 days later, she called me back with a discovery that made my heart pound. They built 12 condos over a live city sewer main. Mike, that's a federal no-build zone. They hadn't stolen land anymore. They'd violated state infrastructure law. Friday morning, 10 a.m. sharp. Barbara's ribbon-cutting ceremony, balloons, cameras, pastries. She was proud, ready for her photo op. What she didn't know was that behind the tree line, my crew waited, quiet loaders, unmarked trucks, engines humming. At 10:15, as Barbara gave her victory speech, I gave the signal. The ground trembled with the sound of diesel. A bulldozer punched through a fence like it was tissue paper. The crowd went silent. I walked up to the podium, calm as dawn, and took the mic from Barbara's frozen hands. "Good morning. My name's Mike Carver. I own this land, and every person here is trespassing." I handed her a document, a court injunction confirming my ownership and authorizing emergency demolition. Lena's new survey map glowed red with the public sewer running under her. "Condos, you lied," I said. "You lied to the county, your investors, and every neighbor here." The excavator swung, wood cracked, glass shattered. The model condo, her trophy, crumbled like cardboard. The crowd screamed. The cameras rolled. It was all on tape. She fought dirty after that. Media smears, fake legal filings, bribery. One by one, every lie collapsed. First, her false claims were tossed out of court. Then a city inspector recorded her trying to hand him a bribe envelope. Finally, she trespassed on my property at night, caught by my cameras and arrested with zip ties and a recorder in her purse. Within weeks, the HOA was dissolved. The city fined the investors millions, and Barbara Kelso, fired, charged, forgotten. When the dust finally settled, I tore down every last board myself. The land was clean again, quiet, like it used to be. Then I planted a new oak tree over the same spot. My son-in-law, my daughter Emily, the grandkids, all holding shovels. No speeches, no fanfare, just peace. The county later rewrote the zoning maps and passed something they called the Carver Rule. No HOA can claim or build on adjoining land without formal public review. My legal settlement was enough to retire comfortably, but instead, I donated every cent to fund a scholarship in Sarah's name for trade students learning to build what lasts. A year later, Emily and I built the cabin, small, beautiful, peaceful, front porch facing the young oak. The grandkids run on the grass, their laughter mixing with the soft rustle of leaves. I sit in my father's old rocking chair as the sun sets behind that new tree. For the first time, the land feels whole again. They tried to bury my past under concrete. Instead, they planted the roots of their own downfall. And now, every leaf that stirs in that quiet wind reminds me. Some things you can't build over. Not love, not legacy, not justice.